Hey anime fans, this is Chris Boltz coming in with a reaction video. I'm going to be looking at a most epic new gen anime fights. This coming from epic content creator ViniiTube. Make sure you go over there and subscribe and to his channel. He doesn't need my help. He probably has over a million subscribers right now. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look and see. Yeah, 1.1 million. So he doesn't really need my help or anything like that. But still, go over there and leave him a like. And if you want to watch this video without my commentary, I will put a link in the description. So without further ado, let's get right off into it. And of course, he leads right off with the Baru versus Jinwoo fight from this past season of Solo Leveling, season 2. Me personally, I like the Kargalgan fight a little more than this one, but I had watched it again a few weeks ago, but this fight is still pretty epic. Let's continue.
Anime fights have always been insane, but this new generation, it takes the fights to a whole new level. They create the kind of hype that leaves fans with their jaws on the floor. And just to be clear, when I say new gen, I'm only talking about anime that aired from 2015 onwards. So let's talk about the best new gen fights in anime. Starting off.
Yeah, this is actually already just going off pretty good and everything like that. Obviously, the one that's going to come up right here is from Windbreaker. By the way, this is the fight that actually convinced me that Windbreaker is an awesome anime. Never mind the pacing and the character arcs, the storytelling. This fight right here really put it on the map.
Off this list with Dogame from Windbreaker. Sure, he has the moves, but Sakura isn't coming slow either. Now, this is the kind of fight that I'd call a real fight because it's a man-to-man brawl. There were no weapons or special powers, just the power of fists and sheer will. This reminds me of what I love about certain fights. I don't mind surprises, such as a new form/power or new equipment to change how the flow goes, but nothing beats solid choreography where both sides just wail on each other with no pauses. And the joy of fighting like this coming off their faces makes me want to smile uncontrollably too. This was the absolute
is that the reason why this particular fight is impressive is that it's attainable. Anybody that's looking at this fight is just two men without powers or anything like that, and it's just pure skill. Hey, my fists are better. My fists are faster than your fist. My angling and reading of the angles is better than you. My way to control distance is better than yours. You know, that's what it comes down to. So this is actually attainable and everything like that. So let me go ahead and continue.
The rawest exchange of blows I'd seen in a long time. Mushoku Tensei has many fluid and fast-paced battles, but this one just hits the spot. It was a desperate struggle, an all-or-nothing battle to save Zenith. And let's be real, this was the ultimate raid boss. This fight showed Paul's true potential, not as a father, not as some washed-up adventurer, but as a straight-up warrior. It's probably the only time we get to see him this badass. And Rudy had no idea how powerful he'd become, but the real star of the show was Roxy. She saw a chance, she took it. Otherwise, everyone in the party would have been done for. This is one of the most intense fights in Mushoku Tensei. It's so raw, chaotic, and terrifying because there was no guarantee they were all going to make it out alive.
And on this particular fight, Roxy was she was a star, but at the same time, the reason why that they're fighting this boss is because Roxy had got lost. She got transported away, and she got transported into this dungeon that the hero, I forget his name, Rudy, had saved her saved her from this, and they were able to come back off in here, and that what they're trying to do is save his mama. And of course, I don't want to give away the punch, or rather the outcome of this fight, but you guys definitely need to go check out Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, something that T-Bait is hoping that it wants to be, the beginning after the end. Had to get that little dig off in there, but yeah, this is a really good fight.
Let's talk about Saitama versus Boros. You see, Boros was a big fish in a big pond that made the unfortunate mistake of travelling to a small pond with an alligator. Saitama lets him cook. At first, Boros actually sees him like he might be a problem. He sends Saitama flying, blitzes around the battlefield, and even kicks him to the moon. The moon, that is. That's some serious damage for anyone who isn't Saitama. Dude just casually jumps back like it's a minor inconvenience. Boros is giving it everything he's got. He unleashes Collapsing Star Roaring Cannon, an attack that could wipe out the entire planet. This is the kind of move you save for the final boss. This is his ultimate trump card, but Saitama finishes it.
We know what he finishes it with. Serious punch. Serious punch.
With a single iconic punch. That's it. The animation of this fight scene is the real star of the show because it's such a treat to the eyes. One Punch Man never fails with its fight sequences and how gorgeous they look.
And it's a shame too, because the second season, when it came out, it pales in complete comparisons. And that's an interesting spot to stop. It pales in complete comparison to the first season. And this one fight alone right here, man, the animation on this one was just off the point. I think the first season again was done by Mappa, and I keep forgetting who's doing the second season. But the second season, it was subpar, passable, subpar. And third season, oh my goodness, it's just, I don't have high hopes for it, but I can't wait to see it this October.
Next up, we have Toru versus Elma. AKA the most beautifully animated fight in the entire series. I didn't know this show could feature something like this. It was truly mind-blowing. Now, Elma didn't like the fact that Toru had been serving a human on Earth. According to her, Toru has better things to do. Toru just wants to live an easy life. She just wants to chill, you know? At first, they try to settle their differences like normal people. And by normal, I mean throwing hands in the middle of the sky, causing shockwaves that could probably level a small country. And the animation, absolute perfection. Kyoto Animation went insanely hard for no reason. The action and fighting, the build-up of emotion, the voice acting, the climax of why Elma wanted to fight, everything was just perfect. I'll never forget how I felt watching it for the first time.
And I'll be honest, I did start watching Miss Kobayashi's Maid Service, but I kind of checked out after the first couple of episodes. I didn't think it would be my cup of tea. But if I had if they had led with something like this fight right here, I would have stayed and watched that sucker from beginning to end. This is an awesome fight right here. I remember seeing this years ago on another ViniiTube video, and I'm sitting there thinking, I missed out on that. But the thing is, though, if you want to see this fight and how with everything that leads up to it, you got to go through Miss Kobayashi's Maid Service, and I just don't want to do that. But if you guys want to do that, it's on Crunchyroll.
Yami and Asta vs Dante was the anime fight equivalent of a father-son Kamehameha. This fight was Black Clover peak fiction. We got Yami, the ultimate cool as hell mentor, and Asta, the battle-crazed underdog, teaming up to take on Dante, a smug demon-powered psycho who literally heals through getting his ass kicked. From the start, you already know that this was going to be different. Dante was flexing on everyone, regenerating from fatal attacks like it was nothing. Yami was holding it down, hitting him with the dimension slashes and death thrusts, but Dante just kept coming back. Then, Yami says the magic words, "Asta, help me out." At that moment, Asta snaps. He taps into his devil power, syncs up with Yami, and suddenly Dante, this overpowered smug villain, was getting cooked. The animation, insane. The music, pure fire. And when Yami tosses his katana to Asta, you already know it's game over.
Yeah, indeed, and in fact, that's how you actually leave off a cliffhanger too. This was a cliffhanger fight. After this, Black Clover took a big hiatus. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I can't wait for this series to come back, because this is one of the a really good shonen anime. It's not. Is it the best? No, I don't think it's the best or anything like that. I think One Piece and Bleach and Naruto, those are the big three. But it definitely earned its place among the shonen anime. That's for sure. That's for sure. I really like this, and I can't wait for it to come back.
Insane. The music, pure fire. And when Yami tosses his katana to Asta, you already know it's game over. This fight in Eminence in Shadow was less of a fight and more of a lesson. Iris and Beatrix might seem like an unbeatable duo, but when it comes to Shadow, this duo means nothing. Our dude didn't care how hard these girls tried to overpower him. Bro started giving TED Talk mid-fight. I absolutely loved how Beatrix kept growing angrier and angrier at Shadow because, well, she wasn't able to touch him no matter how hard she tried. Shadow overpowers both sisters effortlessly, styling on them like he's farming XP. Iris gets desperate, charges up her biggest attack yet, puts all of her anger into it, and Shadow, he just nukes it with an explosion bigger than her entire career. This man radiates aura just how the sun radiates the ultraviolet rays. Trevor's fight against death has to be one of the best in the.
Oh man, yeah, I started watching Eminence of Shadow, but I never had gone back to finish it. But I'm gonna have to go back and check that out, because that was a really cool fight. This is one thing about anime, is that nobody really cares when you see a dude beating up on girls or girls beating up on dudes or anything like that. It's just like it's like Street Fighter 2. You got Ken and Ryu whooping up on Chun-Li and Cammy. So what's the problem? But I'm glad that an American anime actually did make this list. The Trevor versus Death match. Oh my God. Let's go ahead and get off into this one.
The series. I like how Death fights exactly like you'd expect from a retro final boss. He doesn't move around, he doesn't dodge Trevor's blow, he just towers in the background and launches big, flashy, mostly telegraphed moves with his hands and his scythe. You could easily see this scene in a video game. But Trevor, bro just charges straight at death like an absolute menace and obliterates him in one of the most satisfying finishing moves ever. Moral of the story, if your last name's Belmont, you don't fear death. Death fears you.
Unfortunately, that gets followed up with the Castlevania Nocturne, which frankly is a disappointment in my view. I know some people might disagree with that, but me personally, I'm good. I don't need to watch Castlevania Nocturne. Castlevania, the first season was excellent. Well, the first 3 seasons rather, because it did go for 3 seasons, maybe 4. So, and before anybody opened a damn mouths, it didn't because of the LGBT nonsense in the first one or even the race swapping or anything like that. I just felt like that Richter got pushed into the background, became a background character in his own damn cartoon, and getting pushed back so that the girl bosses can flex on him and stuff like that. So I'm not interested. I thought the way that it was handled in the Castlevania with Trevor, and I forgot the sidekick woman that he was traveling with, they were on equal terms. Every now and then Trevor would actually outshine, and obviously we see that Trevor fights death in that way. That was an awesome fight. So definitely check out the first season of Castlevania, but going to Castlevania Nocturne at your own risk.
Want to see a friendly game of tag between 2 brothers? Wait, never mind. It's a full-on brawl where time and physics don't even matter anymore. What started as Shinra trying to literally fight his little brother back into remembering their bond quickly turned into Sho reminding everyone why he's built differently. Shinra had to level up mid-fight just to keep up. My guy went from normal speed to breaking the laws of physics in the span of seconds. You know a fight's insane when the characters start rewriting the concept of time just to win. The animation in this fight scene was truly god tier, and the fluidity of the scene was off the charts. So what's the lesson? If your big bro's so determined to save you that he starts outpacing time itself, just go home, man.
That was an awesome fight. I actually love the animation. Somebody in my that follows me on the channel and watches my streams a lot, J-Bro, was like, man, I started watching that Fire Force. I said, yeah, you definitely need to watch that Fire Force, especially when Shinra fights his little brother Sho. That is a fight, and you see that animation style, my man. That so far, actually, the animation on all these have been pretty good and everything. So, but yeah, Fire Force, this fight right here is absolutely excellent, and it's full of all kinds of really great fights. So make sure you guys check that one out.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data Analytics Certificate.
Imagine walking into a fight where you're outnumbered 10-1, and instead of feeling scared, you're the one smiling. That's exactly what Meliodas did when he squared up against the entire 10 Commandments. Considering Meliodas wasn't even in his prime and still tanked 100% full-powered abilities from the Commandments, it's so impressive. He almost wins. Alone. Right when it looks like Meliodas might actually pull it off, the 10 Commandments switch things up. They dogpile him, stab him from every angle, and hit him with the most brutal group finisher in the series. And just like that, the invincible demon prince is dead. I can only imagine how fast this fight would have changed if Meliodas had gone into assault mode.
Now, I kind of checked out of 7 Deadly Sins, but I did see this fight here. It was pretty dramatic. And they all got, he has 7 hearts, and they found out each heart and stabbed him in all of his hearts to permanently put him down. But yeah, 7 Deadly Sins, it was hype for a little bit there, but after a while it just run its course, and I kind of got bored with it, and I just checked out completely. So, but if you guys want to check it out, it is on Netflix, so go ahead and check that out if 7 Deadly Sins is something up your alley.
Mob vs. Mogami was a psychological horror movie disguised as an anime battle. Imagine pulling up to a fight thinking it's just another exorcism, and the next thing you know, you're trapped in a hellish alternate reality for 6 months. That's what happened to Mob. But you gotta feel bad for Mogami, who spent decades gaining enough power to get his revenge, dies before doing so, and comes back only to be defeated by a kid with a single attack in his own pocket dimension, where he's basically a god. That's some Boros level luck. But what's crazy is how insanely powerful Mogami is. Even after he was defeated and sealed away, he was such an incredible force that Mob was still wary of fighting him. And the animation? I'm pretty sure they spent the entire budget on this specific fight scene because, oh my god, how glorious it was.
Now, I don't remember this fight from the series. Maybe it was in an OVA. But be that as it may, I wouldn't have thought Mob Psycho 100 would have those types of fights or anything until they actually sat down and watched it. And man, I was taken in from the first moment I saw this anime. Really excellent anime. It's available on Crunchyroll. Make sure you go over there and check that out because Mob Psycho 100 is a trip, and you will enjoy every minute of it.
Enjoying these new gen fights? Then you gotta give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on the notification bell icon to be updated every time I upload a new video.
See what I tell you, he doesn't need my help. He comes in and he asks for your support anyway. But also make sure you do like, share, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications for my stuff. Because I appreciate all of it. Because I really do need that help. I want to get over to 200 subscribers before the end of the month. That's what, a few days? About 4 days. We can do it. Let's go ahead and get that done. Like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications.
Shangri-La Frontier is the kind of anime we didn't know we needed, but are glad we got. The fight scenes in this new anime feature are out of this world, and one of its best fight scenes involves Sunraku and Weathermom. Now, whoever created this anime must be a huge MMORPG fan. I mean, as a gamer, I can fully understand Sunraku's fighting style. It's such a breath of fresh air, isn't it? From the moment the fight starts, you can tell Sunraku is in trouble. Weathermom is an unpredictable entity. He can attack from anywhere. His attacks have no logic. You just can't figure them out. It's like fighting a Dark Souls boss that keeps updating its moveset mid-fight. The fight itself was brutal and fast. Sunraku is unable to figure out the patterns at first, but when he does, we fall in love with him. Every hit he...
Yeah, that's one thing I will give to Shangri-La Frontier, aside from the fact that it is a beautifully animated anime. Whoever made the anime definitely understands MMORPGs, and like ViniiTube said, he definitely understands boss mechanics from Software. I'm pretty sure they spent a minute or two at the From Software offices and said, hey, give us some ideas of how you implement these boss mechanics. So, but me personally, the first season was that Weathermon fight is pretty good, but I thought the first season was The second season is a much better. The ending to the second season is pretty anticlimactic and everything, but I think you still would have fun with it overall.
He lands feels like a small victory, and by the time he finally takes Weathermon down, you're just as exhausted as he is.
死ぬほど見てるんだぜ。俺にはもうその刃は届かねえよ。
Okarun versus acrobatic Silky was less of a fight and more of a high-speed paranormal circus act. The moment acrobat Silky pulls up, you know Okarun is in for a bad time. Silky looks like she came straight out of a nightmare. The way she attacks is unique though. She doesn't walk, she runs. 1 second she's across the room, and the next she's inches from your face, looking like she's about to ruin your entire existence. But here's the thing, Okarun isn't backing down. He's got that turbo mode and the dude starts trading speed for speed. At one point, they're practically teleporting around the battlefield, flipping, dodging and throwing hands at a speed that should not be possible. It's like watching Dragon Ball Z, but with ghosts and a guy fighting for his life. And the animation was absolutely unhinged. But Acrobat Silky had one of the saddest backstories in the history of anime. My wife just did not stop crying.
That episode after the fight, my God, that is peak cinema. You should watch Dandadan just for those 2 episodes alone, so you can understand her motivations and Acrobat Silky's entire backstory. It is complete sadness. So I didn't tear up like ViniiTube's wife or anything, but man, was I mesmerized from beginning to end. So. And that was a really good fight. Dandadan has some really great fights, and they had some really corny dialogue, really great characters. And yeah, check that one out too. You can watch this. I think you can watch this definitely on Crunchyroll and on Netflix, I believe. So check that one out.
I didn't expect any kind of swordplay in Kaiju number 8, but here we go. Vice Captain Hoshina doesn't look like he's too powerful, but trust me.
A lot of these fights are from 2025 or 2024 and 25, huh? But that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. I just wanted to point that out.
He absolutely is. I'm a big fan of Hoshina's swordplay. I was seriously not expecting.
And yes, this is a really good one. Hoshino, my goodness, pushing himself to the limits. By the way, this is a nice pose right here. This is an absolutely nice pose and everything. I really like that pose.
Expecting him to pick up a
Go ahead, let's go.
Masterfully, and Garfgar was definitely struggling. He was trying not to fight with Hoshina and kept running away. Hoshina's speed was insane, but the moment Garfgar caught his blade in his body and started charging up, you could just hear that little shriveled, scared voice in Hoshina's head going, "Oh, I messed up." Easily one of the funniest. I may have underestimated this moment ever. And let's talk about the animation. Every frame is crispy. The speed, the choreography, the sheer impact behind every hit. Mwah, you can feel every clash. Let's move on to Denji, aka Chainsaw Man versus Katana Man.
Let's move on to the most overrated anime probably on this list. Chainsaw Man is overrated. It was boring. It was trite. This fight is meh. But that's just me. Let's go ahead and finish this.
Katana Man? This dude is batshit crazy. The fight between them was absolutely chaotic. None of them were holding back. Katana Man thought he had it in the bag. Dude had speed, technique, and a clean transformation. But Denji fights like a rabid dog that just got off its leash. No strategy, no form, just pure, reckless carnage. And what's crazy is that he's having fun while doing it. Denji's final move was oh so satisfying. That was a massive disrespect. This honestly proves no matter how bad a situation may be, you still have a chance of winning. Re:Zero's Season 3 gave us some of the best fight scenes ever.
Personally, I would have gone with the fight between the Sin Archbishop of Greed and the captain of the one captain. I forget their names and everything like that, but he has a sad backstory too. But this Garfield versus Kurgan fight, not too bad either.
The fight between Garfield and Kurgan can easily be one of the best animated fights of 2025. I love the fact that Kurgan was built so differently that he kept some of his personality even after being reborn as a puppet. The acknowledgement he gave Garfield was so cool and so satisfying for his character after what Elsa made him go through. Also, the details in this fight scene are just crazy. Don't even get me started on the animation. I forgot for a moment that I was actually watching ReZero. It felt like some other shonen anime with an extremely high budget for its animation.
見事
Let's talk about our little heroes fighting against Dark Might. Now, Dark Might was absolutely terrifying. Imagine All Might, but bad. Yeah, that's what Dark Might is. You know you're a menace to society when Midoriya starts mixing and matching quirks. The trio felt like they were fighting an actual monster. This dude was so unhinged that he erased everything that came in front of him, and yet the trio didn't back down. This was the fight where their teamwork truly shone. The three of them...
I haven't seen this one yet, but My Hero Academia, the entire anime, this is an OVA. I gotta pick that one up because that I gotta watch that one for this fight alone. But just they call him Dark Might. I wonder if he's a what do they call those black things? The starts with a K. Not kaiju or anything like that. But you guys know what I'm talking about. When those black enemies come out, they're actually brainless. They used to be heroes or villains or whatever before they were turned into these mindless creatures that just fight. I wonder if that's what Dark Might is, but I'll have to watch it to take a look and see. No spoilers. Don't put any spoilers down off in there.
Absolutely pushed themselves to get rid of Dark Might. And let's be real, seeing Bakugo and Deku actually working together instead of screaming at each other? Now that's character development right there, baby.
I knew this fight would be off in there. Freyren versus Freyren was a treat. There's another one where I wasn't too sanguine about the first season, but the second season, I have nothing but praise for the second season. And of course, this fight right here, oh my God, loved it. Loved it.
Free-Ren, Beyond Journey's End, was such a breath of fresh air. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting any kind of fight scenes in this anime, but the ones it featured hit the spot right. Take Free-Ren's fight with her clone, for example. It literally broke the internet when it came out. I love the little detail of Free-Ren and her clone mirroring each other's barriers at the beginning. It just shows how they both knew what the other was going to do. Madhouse absolutely cooked with the visual and sound effects in this fight. It truly felt like two gods clashing. Also, Free-Ren wasn't lying when she said basic magic spells were enough to defeat the mages of the current era. Every single spell in her arsenal is just too powerful for everyone. Sukuna versus Mahoraga was less of a fight and more of a flex on Sukuna's part. The way he absolutely annihilated Mahoraga lives rent-free in my head. Honestly, this is legitimately one of the greatest fights in general. Like, not just anime, but in general. The sinister divinity in music, voice acting, fluidity, the complete and utter chaos. You feel the stakes, you see the danger, you can hear the destruction. This is showing, not telling, at its absolute finest and deserves a reward. It's pure cinematography. Also, the animation just slaps. It's so fast and fluid you won't be able to see what's going on properly. Sure, it felt rushed, but it still deserves all the praise in the world.
For the second season, when I first saw the art style for the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, I wasn't too sure about it. But then as the season went on, it started growing on me. This fight was really great, but the other fight where he fights the volcano head, he could have easily have picked that one, and either one of them would have worked really well. But he picked this one right here. He could have also picked the fight between Itadori's dad and Goto. Because that fight, back when they were younger, that fight was also pretty dope. I think that was the first time he used Hollow Purple Goto. That was the first time that he used Hollow Purple. So he could easily, ViniiTube could easily have chosen that fight. But this one here, no complaints.
This list is incomplete without an entry from Demon Slayer, and it has to be Rengoku versus Akaza. Akaza comes in swinging, all cocky like, "Hey man, you're pretty strong. Want to be a demon?" And Rengoku, being the absolute GOAT, just says, "Nah, I'm good." Then proceeds to fight this dude like his life depends on it because, well, it literally does. Rengoku was out here soloing an upper moon, breaking his limits, slashing through the air so hard it looked like fire itself. Akaza kept regenerating like an overpowered video game boss, but Rengoku didn't stop. Man fought till the literal last second, holding Akaza down with nothing but sheer willpower. But the outcome of this battle was really sad. R.I.P. Rengoku, you'll always live in our hearts.
It could have been another one. I would have chosen the fight at the end of the last arc when the Michael Jackson enemy. I see. That's the thing about anime. I don't watch all these anime, but I never really grasp and keep their names in my mind or anything like that. I forget them. But we know the scene where the strongest Hashira comes off in there and he just basically blocks all the attacks from the Michael Jackson demon, and then the guy flexes off and basically traps them all in the demon world, which is going to be the next arc that's going to be coming in as a movie. He could have chosen that part of the scene, but again, this one's not that bad either. So really, no complaints.
Gabimaru vs Tencent was straight up survival horror with hands. You ever played a game where the enemy just refuses to die no matter how hard you hit them? That's exactly what Gabimaru was dealing with here. It's honestly so refreshing to have a normal hand-to-hand fight.
By the way, Hollow Knight has a whole bunch of different things. I still haven't finished that game. I think I have about 30 hours in it, and I still haven't finished it. That's a really good game. You can pick that game up on, I think, on Xbox, on Steam. I think it's on PlayStation too. So, and on Nintendo, I believe. So, play Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's great. As for this fight here, that thing with the orange hair, he can change his sex on at any time. I think he transformed into a she right there, and he still got messed up.
with normal animation instead of so much internal monologue and flashy animation. Dude did what Adam did against Zeus, literally fighting unconsciously, except he was thinking of his wife. A loving wife is the strongest drive of power in this anime. Gabimaru just said screw it and focused only on the fight, putting his all into overpowering the guy. Gabimaru also unlocked a secret power inside of him while fighting that demigod. Also, the music really adds to the fight. When the OST hits just right during a fight, it elevates everything.
We all knew this fight was going to be the last fight, right? It begins the video and it ends the video. By the way, this is what T-Bait should have been hoping it would have been, but instead we get the PowerPoint presentation. First impressions, y'all. First impressions.
Imagine being the strongest warrior of your entire race, only to get folded like a lawn chair in front of your own people. That's exactly what happened when the Ant King ran into the one guy you don't want to mess with, Sung Jin Woo. It's crazy how most of the fight is from the Ant King's perspective. We can mostly hear his thoughts freaking out as if Jin Woo is the monster. A1 deserves all the love and respect coming their way. Well, we all know that they've adapted multiple chapters into a single episode. Regardless, I knew it would be beautifully animated, but this far exceeded my expectations, you know. I'm pretty sure after filming this epic battle, the cameraman was promoted to S rank. Today, if you enjoyed the video,
yeah. Nope. I don't want to go on to a next one or anything like that, but if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at that video, I will go ahead and link it in the description. Let me go ahead and just put it right back there. It begins with solo leveling and it ends with solo leveling. So make sure you guys go over there and show ViniiTube some love. Like this video and share this video. And also, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications on my video. All that stuff really helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Boltz signing off, and I will catch you in the next video. You guys take it easy.